To start, I pose a question. What is an oyster? Is it an animal? Is it a plant? We see them in TVs and at restaurants, but do you really know what an oyster is? In this video, I will do my best to teach you and explain the world of oysters. Tomales Bay, established in the 1930s due to overpopulation and overconsumption of oysters in San Francisco. The last few farmers took their remaining oysters up here to try to save the species. Locally owned and run since the 30s, Tomales Bay is the perfect habitat for oysters, with brackish water and no predators. I also found that the water at Tomales Bay is extra clear, as oysters are filter feeders and can take out pollutants out of the water through their feeding. Next, we're going to hear Alan from Tomales Bay talking about the process of harvesting.
We'll go out in our boats and we'll get the grow bags, and then we back the truck up and put it in the truck. So they go out in the boats, collect them, pull the boat to the shore, and then they'll load the bags into the truck. The truck will back down here. We'll dump it out, hose it off, get all the mud and seaweed, and then we'll put them on our sorting table. We do it one bag at a time. Gets dumped right here. They process them.
After being processed, the oysters are ready to be sold, and Tomales Bay goes through a staggering 40,000 oysters a week. My journey continues further west to Hog Island. Hog Island hasn't been established as long as Tomales Bay, yet they have a major operation, with many tanks holding thousands of oysters. These tanks are filled with brackish water and separate the oysters into size, smalls being 2.5 inches or less, and largest being 4.5 inches or greater. This larger operation goes through a mind-blowing 60,000 oysters a week. At Hog Island, their focus isn't only on the meat, but also the shells, as they grind them up and turn them into fertilizer, a very sustainable resource. Now, believe it or not, I had never tried an oyster before this project. I had the great opportunity to try one here, at Hog Island, in their restaurant. As my plate of oysters arrived, I had to swallow my anxiety and try these slimy, slurpy, salty little treats, and found that with a little lemon and some hogwash, they weren't too bad. Now, we know oysters have an environmental impact and an economic impact, but did you know that they also have a cultural impact? This is the small town that Hog Island is located in. With a population of only a few hundred, this community bases everything that they have off the oyster and what it brings. As I investigated further into this small, tight-knit community, I found that the people here are much like oysters, having a tough exterior, yet a soft inside, and a large heart for what they love: oysters. These people are experts on oysters, but not all of us are, so how do you oyster? The name of the game is shucking. You must separate the two shells along the thinner inner lining with a knife. Oh, and safety tip, use gloves, because sometimes it will slip. This is what a perfect shuck looks like, using the knife to pry the two shells apart, exposing the soft inner. But be careful, it's pretty salty. To wrap things up, oysters have been a part of the bay longer than humans have, having gone through many ups and downs, yet always seeming to prevail. They have a large ecological impact, economic, and cultural impact. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something, and shuck on, folks. Oh, and don't forget, the world is your oyster.